cut it wide enough, it will be able to rise up easily. And have you ever seen how on trucks they have like those
the
exhaust pipes? Yeah. No, you'd want something a bit thicker.
Hey, so, oh wow, look at that. You've got like some flame going there. That's for real. So tell me how this works. What's your plan? What's your goal?
Our goal is to get an efficient and pretty simple stove.
Out of stuff you can find just about anywhere. Cans. Supply.
Cool. So what are you trying to do? Heat up water or?
Anything, food, water, yourself.
Cool.
Just for those people for emergency areas or places with very little resources.
So tell me about the construction.
We have a big can and a medium can and a very small can. There's some wire mesh at the bottom, which is sort of at the parallel to here to keep everything level and going.
Well, it looks like it's working. That's great.
Yeah, do we have to turn it?
Hungry face. That's what I was saying, yeah.
No, we gotta see the face.
Hey, can you describe what's happening in there?
So,
There's fire.
what's his name?
Make it like an angry sounding name.
Mike.
The Biochar
Mike.
3000.
So Mike over here is eating some twigs and paper and stuff, and he's burning on the inside, and he's heating the big can, which is a littler can is screwed into it and has a top on it.
Okay.
And we have wooden pellets in there, and they're
Okay.
heating up, and we're gonna make biochar.
Sweet. So, do you have a sense of how much fuel? We're just
throwing it in
You're
there.
just throwing it in. You're like, let's just make as much biochar as we
Let's
can.
just make biochar. That is like strategy number one.
Tell me about the thing you got on the top of there. What is that?
The rock?
Yeah.
That's to hold the lid down
To
because
keep
it
the
wasn't
oxygen from getting
really
to the
working.
pellets.
Okay. Well, all right.
Turning out fantastic.
How is
You
it?
should have made it look like one of those floating lanterns from Tangled.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
It's actually sort of sad.
Cool. Are you guys happy with this?
We are very happy.
Yay,
It didn't
heart.
work the first
You can't
time.
tell, we're pumped.
We just kept feeding it paper and it didn't
Oh,
work, but this
hello.
time it's really catching.
Cool.
Awesome.
Well, all right. Rock on. Okay. Hey, so tell me about what you're doing here.
Another stove, very simple, just a can with a fire in it. Made for anywhere else. Grilling, I guess. Or soup or water. It's just one can instead of multiple. Can be built basically anywhere.
Cool. Awesome. Okay. All right, go for it.
Okay, so this is our presentation of a project we did for engineering at GIV. And Moiki, that's how you pronounce Moiki, he is our Australian guy over here, the can that has a face. And our goal was to create biochar. And so what the process was, if someone wants to explain the process.
So we collected all our materials that we needed first. We needed a large can, a small can, 3 screws and a drill, pellets, wood, the can lid, and wire cutters to cut out his face in the can. So we screwed our smaller can to the inside of the larger
Now, you
can.
want to show that to
If you see.
Okay, tilt it the other way.
Yeah, let's.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you can see
So you
that.
can see that.
And so then what we did is we needed to make a top to cover the smaller can while also letting stuff that we were burning come out of the bigger can. So if you can see that top there, it just fits over the small can, but allows it an opening on the bigger can. Now you want to tilt that again?
Because we wanted to keep
Just the right
oxygen
direction
from
this
getting
time.
inside the smaller cans
No,
so that we can
no.
produce our biochar.
That
Cool.
hinge we made, we just kind of cut off a piece of can top and bent it over to the side and then drilled it on, pretty much. That was so it would stay. It wasn't working too well, like staying down, so we had to put a rock on top of it. You can see in the diagram.
And
That
the
was
rock
bottom
did
end.
explode a little bit because it did get really hot, so we would suggest probably finding something a little less explosive to use to weigh it down.
So we also, the face on Moiki, if Matt wants to show that, that's not just there to be there. It was so oxygen can flow into the fire in the larger can, but we made it artistic. And
So,
then we lit a fire in the big can.
and we placed the pellets in the smaller
Oh,
can.
yeah, there's pellets in the small can.
So we
Make the
did
biochar.
create our biochar.
And we lit a big fire, and we let it,
Yeah, we had to
Do
let
its
everything
stuff.
cool.
and then once it all cooled down, we opened it up, checked it in our little can, and we had biochar.
Sweet.
How was that?
Awesome. Go ahead.
So we had a project to do here at GIV Vermont. We had to build a stove that could be used to heat water up to a boiling point. So we decided to make this thing called the Edge Mark III because it took us a few tries to make it. So first what we did was we cut a large hole near the bottom of one of our larger cans so that there was good airflow to the fire that we were going to make. We then cut a hole of mesh, if you want to cut a whole circular piece of mesh to fit inside of the can so that it would separate certain fuels from each other. We then cut a square piece to sit on top of that can. Following that, we filled the inside of the can with sticks to go on top of the mesh and paper to go under it so that it was a stronger fuel source under a less strong fuel source. We then filled this tin can up with water, which would be what we're trying to heat up. And then this lid so that none of the heat escaped from the can once it was there. Lastly, we put this last larger tin can on top so that all the heat that was coming up would stay inside of the can. Yeah.
Cool. All right. Anything else?
We boiled the water.
Yeah, go ahead.
Alright. So, this is a stove that I was making at the Governor's Institute in Vermont, and it can be used for multiple different things. You can boil water in it, which would kill any harmful microbes. You can make biochar, which is carbon that has been trapped in that form and is good for the environment. You can do pretty much whatever you need to. You can cook whatever you need to in it. This is where you would cook it. It's just a small soup can. You cut off the bottom of the soup, another soup can, and place it on top for a lid to keep the heat inside, and it keeps oxygen from getting to whatever is inside the can, so it does not catch on fire. You place this can inside of a larger can, and this is the main body of the stove. You place fuel inside of here and then place the can inside, and you light the fuel on fire. It'll keep the whatever you have inside the smaller can warm and being cooked. To keep the heat from escaping the larger can, I made this. It's a lid. You need 4 of these metal brackets, which are bent at relatively right angles. You need 4 screws to attach them to this lid, which came with the larger can. Just place it on top. You use the brackets to keep it from falling inside. This top was cut a little bit, so there is space for smoke to escape. Other than that, all you need to do is cut a hole in the larger can so that oxygen can enter the can, and you can also light the fuel from the smaller hole. And that's all.
Super. All right, thanks.